Aloha, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Prince John Internet TV. Yet again with some more concepts to improve life. Let's improve the efficiency of the things we do on a day-to-day basis, such as using a water bottle with a sport cap. That way we can do a quick swig and then close it quickly instead of twisting it. Simple things like this. Instead of washing lots of dishes, just use one dish, wash it, and then put it back. And for also things like just one pair of underwear and that nylon type of polyester type of stuff as opposed to cotton, because it's easier to wash the nylon by hand, and then you can just let it dry and use it the next morning. Okay. Let's remember that noise control is important. Even if you can't hear the noise and you're using earplugs, it's the vibratory tone that is set. It has an effect on the space. And remember, if you're trying to interact with somebody with a different frequency, remember I'm using the word different as opposed to good or bad, with different frequency, um, you know, it can be overwhelming. So look after, yourself. Pay attention to yourself before. And I found that it's a creative act to, if you're dealing with somebody who's upset, and as long as you're not upset, you can try listening to them. But if you do get upset, then um, just tell them you'll email them and leave the space. That way, you're in control of your vibration. You're not being influenced and puppeteered by their vibration. Like their words are affecting your conscious, and your physical being. And email them regarding your concerns instead of trying to convince them and talk in person of your position. All right. Another idea is one place people meet is churches, suggesting that it's important to go to a place where you and the woman would naturally already go, um, and not just trying to impress each other. Like, for instance, favorite music, favorite restaurant, just things that are important in life. You go to the same place. That way, you know that, hey, that person would do the same activities as me. I don't have to, um, change them. All right. I believe pain is simply a challenge or test to discover how to heal something. And it may be indirect pain, if you're consuming, for instance, unhappy animal products, and it could result in and realize itself in another area of your life. You might be experiencing theft, for example, because you're interacting with that particular vibratory frequency, the vibration of pain from the animal that you're you're eating. And remember that vibration affects all things, not just people. It affects plants. It affects all our surroundings. And what else? Um, I think it's valuable to post full-time security or police officers in certain highly populated places. That way, it just by default, it reduces the potential that there's going to be criminal activity. All right, so uh, along the same lines as my previous show, if I had financial stability, which woman would I choose? Would I choose somebody I'm looking at, interested in right now, for example? Let's aim to have pure, healthy relationships, people. D- you know, Ask yourself this: do I want to get married tomorrow? And the answer is probably no, because you really realize that you're not ready. Um, I don't try to force others to be nicer or less bad. I try to show them that I'm listening to them. And notice when another person says if you're great, but doesn't agree with your beliefs, like if they don't agree with the light work or they don't agree with whatever your beliefs are, because everyone has some type of religious practice, whether it's journaling, whether it's watching TV, just some, like a hobby, but something that's you're using to try to, make yourself spiritually comfortable. And I wouldn't recommend TV because it's another reality. It's not dealing with your own reality. I think exercise is a good, I call it religious practice. I think religion is something that, you choose to do. You choose, sometimes you don't choose the type of work that you do. You don't might not have a choice, but there are certain things that you can make a choice about, like the style of clothing you wear, the way you talk, etc. Cultural preferences. Okay, so when faced with darkness, like somebody saying, "Oh, you're mean," um, try to say out loud, I am kind, I am helpful and pure," and try to stand your ground. It's like spiritual warfare, kind of like the Bible says that the word is God. Well, the word is in a sense the foundation of the vibratory space. All right, so I've noticed sometimes I can only know who I am by the judgments that I cast onto other people. For instance, sometimes I think that, oh, that person is too old for that other person, and that's my natural position. And now, in my life, sometimes I'm attracted to people of a different age range than I am, like more than 2 years apart. And I've, I've discovered that, that's not what I naturally like. And if you think about it, how can you live a full, happy lifetime together if you're not even having the same, health status, um, and lifetime longevity? I've noticed that complications arise when religion involves money. Here's what I mean. Now, the concept of religion and church and family are all interrelated because I believe spiritual family are the people that you associate with, because not because of their financial status, but because you all believe the same beliefs. Maybe you're all, interested in running together. Maybe you're all like to see, this similar movies, or, you know, preferably something non-material, like you all like to do the same type of praying or light work or eat the same food. Basically, you don't want to make it too exclusive. Like, for example, some churches, you have to tithe 10% of your income. Um, in some places, you have to give the master or spiritual doctor a certain amount of money in order for them to do the healing on you. But ideally, it's a group of people who are sincerely, some of them may not be able to afford it, like a spiritual class or something, but what they do is they get to be in the place. So an expensive, fancy church might not be the best idea for a church. I mean, it may so happen to be that some of the members are wealthy enough to support it, which does happen. But you know, let's let's be honest. Let's not, enter into abstraction by saying, "Oh, the Bible said this," or "in the past." this leader said this. Let's decide on our own terms what we want for our family or congregation, whatever you want to call it. I may not agree with everyone's ideas, but I can usually sense if people are being sincere, and I like that. I've noticed when I call somebody negative, I become negative. Um, so let's put our thoughts first. Imagine happy people, um, and just be responsible. Because, like, imagine for instance, you say, "Oh, that person's silly," and then you know, you, it's like then you feel upset. I mean, if you're really uncomfortable with them, don't be around them. And let's see what else. Imagine just for 21 days that all other people I have an attachment to are gone, such as people who I pretend are my family and certain things like that, and try to put new people into the space that so that I become honest with myself. What else? Riches are not so important to me. Attitude and work ethic is. I think it may be natural to, with a focus on wanting wife and children, that might be an easy way to avoid quick affairs and focus on somebody that you would think is equal to you, and they think mutually the same way. And small things like I keep a little shoe in the back of my pocket, or I might keep, a piece of clothing that I would want to give to a potential wife, and keep it in my bag, as reminders to keep myself in that realm towards my goal. And work itself, you know, and creating financial stability, I think is another route to that, because it just shows that I would be able to support someone and a family. Right now though I don't know necessarily if that's my goal to start a family, because first I want to stabilize the world by providing and creating access to information. Education and information is what changes a village from being poor to being having abundance, and changes a people from participating in unhealthy rituals like alcoholism to being really happy and not just going with short-term romance, etc. And information shows us how to, you know, raise children. And I've found that there is a reason that people lie or steal or even attack someone. And if I think the person's not crazy, I ask them to tell me why. I try to break the cycle of violence and let it end with me. Even if that means I put myself in a potentially vulnerable position, I'm still me. I'm pure light. So if you ever miss me when I'm gone one day, that's a lie. All you should miss is your soulmate, your wife, and just use the words that I use, and you'll feel like I'm still there. Aloha.